Schneider here with another tailgate technology session brought to you by Frontier Precision. Today we're going to be talking about the GPS search function that we use with our Trimble robotic equipment. Specifically today we're going to be using the Trimble S7 along with the Trimble TSC7 controller. It has an internal GPS that we're going to be using. It's about a 2 to 4 meter accurate setup. Alright, so with that, let's get going. Fire up the TSC7. Alright, so you can see access brings us into our menu screen right away. I already have my project folder set up. I'm just going to show you our job that I have set up here. I'm going to be doing a scale factor 1 for my coordinate system, and we're going to be doing some assumed coordinates out here. I'm going to accept that, open that guy up. I'm going to go back into my menu here, key in a point. I'm going to be calling this point 1, and we'll just go ahead and code it as a control point, giving it some coordinates for today. Mark it as a control point, and storing that. Alright, so you can see our triangular control icon on the screen now. It's all set up. Okay. Zoom to center that guy. Alright. Well, let's go ahead and get the instrument set up and go from there. Alright, we got the instrument all set up. We got our rover rod all put together here. I'm going to be using the multi-track MT1000 target today. That has our active tracking technology for the S7, which gives it that strength and confidence when you're going through brush or in other urban areas. You have a lot of other reflective targets around you. Alright, so with that, you can see on our screen we have on the top there our connections. We're connected with our robot. You see the image of the robot. You see our prism as well. So one of the things we want to get rolling here first is to make sure we have the correct prism selected. So if I tap the prism there, you can set up as many targets as you wish. We recommend, again, setting up those targets ahead of time. You can all have them set to the multi-track, for example, and just have all your different rod heights pre-done in there. That'll eliminate that human error aspect of things. If I'm switching from 6.5 foot to 7 to 8 very quickly without having to manually key that in. I'm just going to edit that so you can see what I have it set to. There's our 6.5 multi-track. I'm going to be doing target ID number 1 with our MT1000. I'm going to be using semi-active mode. You can also choose from passive or active. And semi-active is going to be our more accurate method. It allows us to use the active tracking technology, but then when you want to enable that measurement, it'll switch to passive, lock on to the center of the glass, and take that measurement and back to active tracking simultaneous. So. And then you can give it a display name. Alright, so I'm going to be accepting that one. Okay, I've already pre-keyed in my point that I'm setting on. So let's just go ahead and head out and get our backside shot in. Alright, one tool I like to do before I get too far away from it, I do want to make sure that the instrument is locking onto me okay and following me as I'm going to my backside location. So I can either manually turn over the tangents to lock onto it. I can hit my instrument icon, I can go to joystick. You can also hit your video feed button too. So right now you can look at the clouds today. I'm just joysticking with the joystick on my TSC7 controller here, and you can see it bringing it back down. And over to my location. Once you get anywhere close to it, you can either stamp on the screen and it'll lock onto you that way as well. Alright, so now I know I'm locked on. Let's head on out to my backside. Alright, again, if I cared about these 2 points, I could have pre-keyed in coordinates for the backside as well as I did for the point the total station was on. I could also have a hub, nail, or a spike in the ground ahead of time too to re-observe these points later on. But for today, this will be just fine. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead into my menu, measure, tap my S7. I'm going to be doing a station setup today. Looks pretty close on our temp. All right, so what point are we setting on? You can see it remembered that point from before. If again I cared about the point the instrument was on, I would go ahead and measure that up. I do like to use the bottom of a notch on the instrument for that part of things. A little bit more accurate. You're not bending the tape as much to pull it up to a true height location, but you can switch that location by hitting that right arrow. I'm just going to give it an estimate for today. All right, now it wants to know what backside we're actually measuring to. This is going to be point number 2. I'll call it CP. Backside height is again our rod, so that's going to be our 6.5. All right, heading off to the east today, so I'm going to go ahead and do 90. Let's level ourselves up and measure. All right, there's our information. Looks good. We're going to get that stored. All right, so you can already hear the GPS search kicked in and told me it was ready. When I'm using the internal GPS on board here, I don't entirely trust the 2 to 4 meter accurate as of yet. The reason for that is I've walked pretty much a straight line from the instrument out to my backside. So all the GPS information that it's recording and basically creating a resection back to the gun to give it some kind of global coordinates so it knows where it's at, is all been in a straight line. So a straight line resection, as we know, isn't the best way of doing that. So I do like to give it a little bit of an arc to make it more accurate. If I was to hit GPS right now within a straight line, your total station might do something like this. All right, so basically it just looked off into space because, again, it did not like that straight line resection that we did. So I need to clear that out a little bit. And I want to give it some new GPS values to base from. All right, in order to do that, we're going to hit our menu drop down. We're going to be going into the instrument up to target controls. And if you go ahead and scroll down here towards the bottom, you can see our GPS search function. It is currently turned on. In order to use the internal GPS on here, we want to be using auxiliary GPS, not the Trimble GNSS. That's our, say, our R12 head. It shows internal GPS receiver type as well. All right, so you can also now hit the GPS soft key on bottom. It shows your latency, how many points are within that solution. And again, the longer you're maintaining, and I'm talking, it's collecting more positions. But again, I don't like those all in there, so I'm going to go ahead and reset it. It zeroes out all of those logged positions. You can see the total points in the solution there went down to 0, how many satellites we're tracking. So at this point now, I'm going to go ahead and begin to walk in an arc. You can see it start to gather a few points in the solution. I'm going to stay within my camera feed here, so I'm going to go ahead and work my way back again over into this field. We're walking behind a tree.
No target. Target locked. GPS search ready. Target.
All right. You heard our GPS search ready kick in.
Target locked.
That means we hit our minimum of 5 points in the solution. So let's go ahead and test out that GPS search function. For me to test it out for you, I'm just going to go ahead and turn off my my auto lock function. I'm going to go ahead and accept my search here and accept that to pull back out here as well. Okay. All right, so you can see my auto lock is off, so it's not currently following me. Yes. That. Let's just come over here. Switch my auto lock back on. All right. So one of the other things I did was I set up one of my function keys to be my search routine. If I hit my menu drop down, you can see under favorites there. If I hit the little pencil icon, I can go into my function keys, and you can see my F4 is set up for the search routine. All right. It'll just make it faster when you're in the field, just a quick button press. So if I go ahead now and hit my F4, the total station will turn within that 2 to 4 meter range and try and lock onto you. The further away you are from the instrument, the quicker that lock will happen, because it kind of has that fanning beam where it's looking for you. All right, let's try that again, just out a little ways. This time, why don't I go ahead and just lock it? There we go. All right, out a little ways again. Let's just see where that thing's looking at real quick. So I'm going to hit my video so you can see where it's at. And you can see again, since I was closer, the instrument was pointing a little bit higher too. I'm further out now. My multi-track's on, so I'm going to hit my F4.
Searching.
Goes into the search mode.
Target ID 1 locked.
There we have, locked on. All right, great tool. It speeds up, especially if you have a lot of things going on that job site. A lot of movement happening. If your instrument doesn't have that video function, GPS search is going to take away a lot of that downtime that's used for searching and looking for you. All you got to know is how to turn it on and how to use it correctly. All right. All right, cool. Well, thank you again for your time here. I'm going to go ahead and head on back to the truck and get everything put away. Until next time, thank you.